Look at your man's ears.
Losing is what got us here. None of us feel good about it. This is, where we are. You are what your record is. You are what has happened, recently. But things can change quickly. Once we.
Knicks family was popping. It's your boy. We're back in the building, ladies and gentlemen. Tony. Well, the Knicks go 2-2. 2 wins in 2 days. First, the Brooklyn Nets, D'Angelo Russell in the Brooklyn Nets, Trae Young in the Atlanta Hawks. So tonight's game was the Nets game was a lot tougher than anybody probably expected, but they pulled it out. You know what I mean? And Nets fans right now really don't care, to be honest with you. Seems like it. A lot of them was like, we're tanking anyway. So, it is what it is. Hawks fans, of course, they're singing a different tune. They feel a little bit differently. You know what I mean? Because, feeling differently. But how do you feel about the Hawks? Well, no. Let's start with the Brooklyn Nets, since that was tonight, and then we'll go
backwards.
Go to the Hawks, right? You upset that it was such a tight game?
I was initially, we talked about it. We did the post game show. We got to kind of, I aired some of my grievances, but end of the day, a win's a win. It doesn't change. It doesn't look different on the score, on the standings. It doesn't have an asterisk next to it. You know what I mean?
Right.
So we got to stack them up and take them as they come.
Yeah, no doubt. You know what I'm saying? Just got to take what we got to take right now and learn from it. You know what I mean? Like someone just said on a post game show, I think it was Corey from Rochester, that you learn how to win tight games. You know what I mean? And that's what you got to do, right? You learn how to win those tight games. You know what I mean? Learn how to win them. And they won a tight one tonight. And when you play the better teams and you're going to get into a tight win, you build that confidence for those wins right there. You know what I mean? But let's do it, man. Brooklyn. We're starting with Brooklyn. This is even Cheddar said, this even being close is sad for New York. Understood. I'm not even gonna lie. Understood. I get it. I don't know if it's sad, because it's still NBA players. You know what I mean?
A loss would have been sad.
A loss would have been sad. It's still NBA players. Guys are gonna come to play. Guys got to make money. And like you said earlier, some players trying to remain in the league, so on and so forth. It's going to be like that. The same thing happened when the Knicks were with Julius Randle and R.J. Barrett and all of that, and they played against the Nets when they had Kyrie and KD and what's his face, whoever, Harden, James Harden. You know what I mean? And we would have those
close games. Yep, absolutely.
Same thing.
And we were just as prideful and proud about being in those games.
Exactly. Right. Right. Just as prideful about being in those games. So I'll take it. Look at Greg. Greg didn't get no. We're gonna talk to Greg after we run through these. What the other team's fans said. You know what I mean? He's been coming down on Brunson. I want to do a show with Greg. I think Greg needs to reveal himself.
Call in.
Word. I think Greg needs to reveal himself. You know what I mean? And do a show. I think Greg needs to do a show with us. I don't think he will. But Greg, let me know if you're up for it. So me and you can do a debate show. As a matter of fact, Sean Richardson too. Do a debate show. Me, Greg, Sean. You know what I mean? I don't think they want to do it, but
I'll jump in there with you, Sim. 2-on-2.
yeah, there we go. 2-on-2. Bang. We just go for it. You know what I mean? I want to get Diaz doing a show.
I'm mad I ain't meet you. I didn't get to meet you, bro. Next trip.
Supports, you know. Well, I'm about to put out another thing, you know, calling for people that want to, you know, just looking for some more talent, so we can refresh MBK. So be on the lookout for that. Refresh MBK, get back bumping. You know what I mean? On Diaz, you know, I'm gonna talk to him. We work some things out. Get some things happening. But anyway, you can call into the show, ladies and gentlemen, 516-362-5212. All right. Michael said the Knicks are a bit overrated. Can you see that? Do you think the Knicks are overrated?
I mean, I know why they're saying that. We're the talk of the town. You know what I mean? we the kings of New York. So I disagree, but I know the narrative they're trying to come with.
Yeah. Are we overrated? I don't know if we have a, I mean, I get that, the narrative. I don't know if we have a rating yet, really, as to who we are.
You know what I will say?
I think we're still figuring that out.
This team is not overrated, and I agree. I don't think we can fairly be rated yet, other than an aspiring contending team, right? I think that's easy to say.
Yeah.
But what we do is overachieve on the tips. You know what I mean?
Right.
And this team, you know, right now we're not at that overachieving stage yet.
Now, let me ask this though about the overachievement. Do teams with the stars overachieve with tips?
You said, do they?
Yeah. That's what I'm not sure of.
I mean, that's a fair question because this is probably, I mean, not even probably, this is the most talented team that Tibbs has had, other than maybe peak Bulls.
Mm-hmm.
His peak Bulls team.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, that's the only team that you could probably compare.
Right.
And I think you could make an argument either way. You know what I mean? That this team is better or that team is better. That's prime D. That's not even because D Rose didn't even get to have a prime. You know what I mean? So you can't even say that was prime D Rose, but that was the best D Rose that we've seen, which was great.
Yeah.
But I think it's a fair question. But
because,
what derailed that team was health, and this team has a window of you know what I mean?
Because I always look at yeah, like when he has teams that don't have a lot of talent, a lot of star power, they overachieve big time. Right? Because of the work ethic. Because of the work ethic, because he's rigid, you know what I mean? And so they seem to overachieve because role players need that. They need the work ethic, they need the standards, they need the rigidness.
Preparation.
Star players, you know, maybe need a little. They need that still, but maybe a little bit less. I think he does. I mean, Brunson seems to do what he wants. Cat seems to do what he wants. So I think he does give them that freedom to do what they want, though.
And Brunson, the I've mentioned this a few times. The fact that he's ascended into stardom, I think changes things. He's not the typical
That's true.
came into the league star. You know what I mean? And Towns has started that way, played with Tibbs, so he knows about the expectation and everything. Clashed, but has grown since then and has had his role reversed in a sense since then.
Yeah,
So you know what I mean. So these guys being stars know the different levels of roles in the league. I
yeah,
think that helps.
yeah, yeah. That makes sense. Aquel Wells said the Knicks' third seed is nothing to sneeze at. That's true. Although the Knicks were the second seed last year, but only with 50 wins.
And fifth in the league, right?
You know, um, but that is true. Third seed is nothing to sneeze at. Nothing at all. Nothing at all. Ash said, great loss. Talking about Brooklyn. Ain't it funny how a team like Brooklyn can say this was a great loss and we'll say for
It's
the
a
Knicks,
bad
it's
win.
a bad win.
Yep. Yep.
Right? That's crazy. But I get it. That's how it's
It's,
supposed to be.
it's perspective. It's
Perspective.
it's
Right.
trajectory of the team.
Yeah. It's perspective, trajectory, just like you said, all of that. You know.
Great
Are you
loss.
guys concerned with Cat and his 3 balls since the injury? He's 0 for 9. Um,
I'm concerned with the injury
yeah.
because they pointed out it's a chip bone. You know what I mean? I would assume that's worse than the initial report of a sprained thumb. So yeah, I don't know how that recovers. Uh, you know what I mean? I don't know what the steps is of recovery. I'm assuming he's in a play through it position and it's not gonna be healed throughout the course of the season.
Right.
Um Good thing he's ambidextrous. Um I think he'll figure it out. I think he'll be more comfortable as time goes by. But
Mhm.
you know what I mean? I'm not concerned yet. 0 for 9 since the injury is I didn't realize that, but I'll give it a couple more
Yeah.
games and see how it, you know what I mean, before I'm really concerned.
Yeah. Yeah. Makes sense. Let me get to a phone call real quick. Caller, you live. Name me where you're from, please.
Hey, make it make sense. Greenville, South Carolina.
What's going on with you, brother? How you feeling?
I'm feeling all right. I mean, we have a better record than what we had at this point last year. I think we're at a point with the Knicks where, man, it's about the playoffs and about getting cohesion and just getting everything together for the playoff run to take us to the Eastern Conference Finals, no less, or maybe even the finals, man. I think we jump ahead sometimes and we want this great seasonal record. And actually, we're on pace to have a better season. So
Mhm.
I think we need to just relax, sit back, enjoy the ride, let them tweak everything that needs to be tweaked.
Mhm.
And when the time comes, we need to perform. But to overreact, and we haven't beat this person, or we haven't beat this team, and this guy's scoring this tonight. I think we're beyond that. And I think as Knicks fans and losing for so many years, that we're kind of in a shock. Like,
Mhm.
we want more. We want to go 74 and whatever, but that's not how this works at this point. At
Right.
this point, we're trying to get a team together that's never played together in the starting five, and we just need to just calm down, relax, and enjoy the process, man. because our process has been proven. Like we showed what we did last year. We went to the second round and against, teams that have cohesion, and we did it with backups. And now we just have to let our starters get in the groove. He played 9 men in the first quarter today. So he's even Tibbs is looking to try to bring something together. That's what I got, from watching the game. Like he's letting more people get involved, whether it has to be a small lineup or whether we have to try to figure out how to go big. He's trying to figure it out on his way to what really matters, and that's the big show. Right. So I think we need to just sit back and cool out and relax, man.
See, I agree with you 100%. You know what I mean? A lot of people really worried about if the bench is playing, in minutes. And I feel like Tibbs is an experienced coach. He understands, what he has on his team and what he needs to do to try to pull out wins, and prepare for the playoffs. I really do. Has he won it? No, but that's not all his fault. There's been different things involved in it, but I don't know. Tibbs has his faults, but overall, I think he's a good coach.
I totally agree. I want to shout out Tony, and I definitely want to shout out you, Sims, because y'all always seem to stay level-headed, and I respect that. Like, and that's why I tune in. Whenever I get a chance, we all be working and got a lot of things going on, but I always catch the reruns and different stuff like that. But I just feel like, you got to give a man some grace. Like, you think Doc Rivers would have won with the Celtics without Tibbs? Like, even the Celtics players say that the Tibbs defense and the mindset that he brought was the reason why they won that championship. Right. You know what I mean? And then also, just watching them, even if it's a small sample size over the last 2 games, like the defense seems like it's starting to actually come together little by little, step by step, slowly return. And before you know it, by the time we go another couple of 2-3 months and it's time for playoff time, I think the defense will be just fine, man. I mean, Mitch will come back. We got to figure out how to put him into the defense, but Mitch just seems like defense is what he does. So I'm not worried about it. Mitch coming in. I'm not looking for Mitch to score. I'm just looking for Mitch to get those 2, 3, maybe 4 stops a game. That's going to make the difference because we know the offense is going to figure its way out. McCall, everybody was on him. I didn't call in about that because I was like, I just want people to be quiet because they don't even know who they're dealing with. And I watched him the other night on Trae, and he was looking amazing on Trae. Like, Trae's going to score. But there was just there was a couple of possessions where he just showed you, like, this guy can't move on me, and offensively, he sure can't check me. So I don't know what people are looking for. I don't know what they want. But I think they're going to get it come playoff time. I think they're going to get all the enjoyment they're looking for and all the excitement they need. I think we're really built to go. And the defense is just the one thing that Tibbs is tweaking down the stretch. And when he gets that, it's over, man.
Yeah, I hope so. You know what I mean? And like you said, the Knicks are 13 games above 500. At this point in the season, we haven't been.
Funny. That's laughable.
Right, we haven't been there. We haven't been 13 games above 500 at this point in the season in years, right?
But we're mad.
And we're mad, right?
Hey, make it make sense is making mad sense right now.
You know what I mean? In years. So, like, right, we need, we got to relax. Let them work. Relax and let them work. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I just think sometimes, man, you got to understand you just never had it so good.
Right. Right.
And that's why I don't call and sometimes get on people because it's not, I don't get in the comment section and get on people because I get it. It's the frustration of 20, 30 years, 50 years
Yeah.
that some people are commenting with. It's not, necessarily common sense.
Right.
It's just emotion. So I'm like, okay, but what do y'all really want? We really want a title. We really want a championship. And if that's what you really want, why are we beefing? We haven't won our best seasons in the last 30 years.
Yeah.
Like, why are we beating? Oh, we ain't beating this team or that team. You know what? Because the teams that are above us in the Eastern Conference, they already been together. They already been gelling for 3-4 years. All we doing is serve. We just keeping serve. We holding serve. All we trying to do is let them be crazy enough to let us get it all together. And if we do, when we do, because it's gonna happen, because our oldest guy on the team is campaigning. Like, let's just be honest. He's the veteran of the team at 30.
Yeah.
Like, what are we talking about?
Yeah.
So,
for real.
like, I just hope I made some sense, in this conversation.
Made a lot of sense.
Because I know because y'all make sense to me every time I tune in. So, I mean,
appreciate it.
I'm just hoping some people can get where I'm going.
Nah, it's almost like when someone's been in a bad relationship for mad long, and then they get into a good relationship, they don't really know how to act because it's weird, right? It's like, yo, what is this? You know what I mean? Like we actually can talk and come into an agreement on something. No, this ain't right. Something's wrong.
Or something about to happen.
something about to happen. Shoe about to drop. Yeah.
The whole team's gonna get injured in one game.
Right.
It's gotta be something gotta go wrong.
Right.
Like, what do you mean he loves you?
Yeah. For real. Oh man.
I just want to say you gotta.
I like listening to y'all because y'all have like the calmer head should always prevail, and y'all stay calm. So I respect that because I can't watch all the theatrics on like a lot of channels. It'd be so theatrical and people canceling people because they have a comment, and I'm like, man, y'all ain't never had it so good as a New York podcast. People is actually calling in to complain about nothing. Like, come on, man.
I feel you.
And it's like, oh, you're complaining, you're canceled. Why are you canceling them, man?
Right.
Like, come on, man, stop.
Let people talk. Gotta let
But y'all just keep up the good work, man. I love y'all.
Appreciate you, brother.
Y'all
Appreciate
keep it real.
Appreciate it.
Y'all always make it make sense, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Peace.
That was a great call. You might want to clip that one.
Yeah, for real.
And I wanted to say, we're living in the microwave era. You know what I mean? People want their food fast. They want the finished product. You know what I mean? They don't want to let it cook. They don't want to let it season, marinate. None of that.
Right.
They want the finished product right away.
Everybody want, they all want Mickey D's.
You gotta enjoy the process.
That's it. That's the thing.
And let it finish.
That's the thing we don't do today is enjoy the process. People don't enjoy the process.
I mean, but that's the era we're in. Everything is fast. Music. You know what I mean? Album's hot today, and now we want the new album. You know what I mean?
Everything. Marcus said, "Tankers rejoiced. They played gritty and lost again." If you're a tank artist, you believe in tanking, then this is a good game for y'all.
This was a masterpiece. You know what I mean? You got to see who's who has what kind of fight in them, and it went down to the end, and you lose. You know what I mean? So you gain tank rankings.
Yeah. Greg, don't go anywhere. Stay out here for the whole show because you know what I mean. I'm saving some of your comments. We're gonna talk. when we finish going through this right here. We're gonna talk. So, Greg, stay on the show. Greg has a tendency to leave if he ain't getting the attention. You know what I mean? He does. I don't want to call him out like that, but it happens. Twan said Brunson is such a flop artist.
Every losers lounge we get one.
Every losers lounge we get one. Every losers lounge we get that. Every losers lounge. Now, for the Hawks, of course, the Hawks fans probably got a little bit more venom. Mike said the Knicks fans are excited. They got one win after the refs baby fed them in the fourth. We're still 2-1, little bro. Little bro.
I don't know if you have the stats, but I'm pretty sure they had more free throws attempts than us.
Little bro. Man. Look, I can't even argue. We can't even argue with the Nets fans though, because they beat us in the playoffs. They've for the most part had our number this year.
The Hawks fans, yep.
I mean the Hawks fans, right? Beat us in the playoffs. Had our numbers they've had our number this year so far. Up until we beat them the other day. It was hard to argue with them. But if we see them in the playoffs, we got to handle them because they took us out a couple years ago, and we beat them in the regular season that year
4 times.
4 times.
And that's I wanted to say that, but also this ain't the same team for either one of us. Like,
right?
They not the same Hawks, and we not the same Knicks.
Right. JJ said, "I hope we don't get the Hawks in the first round." It'll be a tough. It'll be a tough series. It's no doubt. It'll be a tough series.
The funny thing is, at this point, I don't feel that way about anybody. Like, I felt that way in past years.
Mm-hmm.
This year, I just let the chips fall where they fall. We fight. We play who we play.
Right.
This year, my expectation of this team has risen to the point where, yeah, there may be teams that we match up more favorable to, but I don't think there's anybody that is like a bad matchup for us. We just gonna have to play our game,
right?
Correctly against certain opponents. But I think we match up pound for pound with anybody. I mean, we the best starting 5 in the league for a reason.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel you. Mike again.
Another one.
That 8 versus 5 in the fourth was impressive for the Knicks.
Talk about the refs.
Right. Okay.
It was a bad officiated game on both sides of the ball. How about that?
Right. Bogey. Darius said Bogey is done. I don't know why he's still here. I mean, I don't know how much he makes, but I'd take Bogey off the bench.
I would too.
We need that kind of guy. Someone who can, maybe he's not. I think he could do some work off the bench with the Knicks, especially with, Tibbs. He's that type of guy. Would the Hawks trade with the Knicks? I don't know.
And then Zach coming back soon. Talk about their rookie.
Yeah. I mean, given that we're such rivals and we could possibly meet in the playoffs, would they trade with the Knicks? I don't know. I don't know if they would.
Listen, after we traded with the Raptors and the Nets, I ain't putting nothing past Leon Rose.
Right. Yeah.
Like he'll figure it out.
That's true. Yeah. That's mad true. Rashad said Brunson been getting ripped, but they're saving him with these calls. I mean,
The Knicks narrative that they be trying to paint with
right,
the refereeing,
right.
as much as Cat is getting abused, not, you know what I mean, like going to the basket, not getting calls, he do need to chill out with the complaining, but it's warranted.
Yeah. You know, ain't it crazy? It's like when players come to the Knicks, they might not even have been known for complaining, but they come to the Knicks, all of a sudden they complain because they don't be getting the calls. You know what I mean? You know, speaking of Cat, Jamal said, I know we lost, but OO did a hell of a job on Cat today. What did Cat have?
What did he have? I think he shot 5 for 15 in that game.
Let me see. Cat was, you know, Congo is a good defender anyway. Is a good defender though, but
Yeah,
30
he was,
points, 9 rebounds, 7 assists. Yeah, he shot 27.8% from the field.
and he got elevated to the starting lineup because of the matchup
Yeah,
specifically. So he had motivation. He had encouragement from the coaching staff giving him that assignment to that's his first start of the year too. So you know what I mean? Like he's a good defender, but that's honestly they've been waiting for him to kind of show that his whole career.
yeah.
And he's been stuck behind Capella, so
All right. Clara.
I do.
Knicks don't want to see us in a 7-game series. Do you think? I mean, we know JJ don't want to see the Hawks in the playoff. JJ already said it. We can beat them.
I agree.
We can beat them. You know what I mean? I think we can beat them. I ain't worried about the Hawks like that.
They're a good team. I think the reason we can beat them is the same reason that they're successful right now
Mhm.
is because they surrounded Trey Young with youth in that starting lineup and then put their veterans to solidify their second unit, which I think is a great idea. But I think ultimately that youth is not going to be ready for the playoff stage. So this is going to be like a development year for them in the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? Like they get that playoff experience that under their belt. But I think that their lack of experience is gonna hurt them this year.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean, something they can learn from.
Yeah. We'll see. This could very well be a playoff matchup. JJ said we can beat them, but the matchup wise, it's not ideal, especially for the first round, them in Orlando. Yeah, well, those are two teams that we could possibly see. So we'll see what's up. Let me get to a phone call. Call you live. Name me where you're from, please.
Hey, how are you doing today, Simeon?
I'm good. How about yourself?
I'm doing pretty good. Getting this win tonight was great. I have something to say to these Nets fans. I just want to send a message to them because I see how the trash they're attacking in this room. The Knicks are like Coca-Cola and the Nets are like RC Cola. They'll always be second rate to the Knicks.
Always.
That's
Yeah.
one thing. Yeah, absolutely. Always. I wanted to just let them know that, to be honest, because they're taking a lot of trash. Like they're always going to be second rate to us. That's something they're going to have to deal with. I think right now they're upset because we're on the come up.
Mhm.
Right now we're a legit title contender, and they're very far off from being that. They're hoping to get Cooper Flag. That's what they're hoping for right now. That's their season, to be honest.
Mm. Okay.
But I was going to say about the Knicks. I agree with the previous guy that we have nothing to stress out about. We have a really great team here. The Knicks are a elite team. we're probably going to win. I'm going to say 55 wins. That's my prediction. We'll probably hit that mark if Cat and Jalen remain healthy. And in come playoff time, I think we can match up with anybody. We have some weaknesses, but there's not really any perfect team in this league. I think our bench could get a little bit better with some tweaking. We'll see what happens. But I think the biggest threat right now in the East, to be honest, is the Celtics. I think that'll be the hardest team to match up in the playoffs. But I really like our chances against the Cavaliers, to be honest.
Yeah, I can only base the Cavaliers on the first game we played, and we were up 13. We should have won that game. I I think we can beat anybody. To be honest with you, I think we can beat anybody. I think we have the talent to beat anybody. Can we do it? Series after series after series. Are we deep enough to do it series after series? We'll find out.
But yeah, absolutely. If you look at the East, I feel like Boston is like the only proven team. That's one of the top teams in the East. They've already won it, so they're battle tested. But I think the Cavs, they're not tested. They haven't really gone far in the playoffs the last few years, and I just think Donovan Mitchell, he's a good guy, but I don't think he's like a legit great player. I think that'll show up in the playoffs. He's yet to prove himself, I feel, just to be honest. And that's going to be interesting to see how that turns out.
Yeah, no doubt. Hey, my man, I thank you. Appreciate your time.
Yes, thank you so much.
Yes, definitely. And thank you for being patient while we were, getting through the rest of those comments. I appreciate that.
Oh, you're welcome. Anytime.
All right. Have a good one. Peace.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Let's get to Greg, because Greg had a lot to say. First, what did he say? Brunson's been off more in this season. This is why he will not get an all-star spot this year. Greg is like the biggest Knicks hater I've ever seen. Every star player. Last year and the years before, he hated Julius Randle and wanted the ball to be with Brunson. Now he hates Brunson. I don't know who he wants to have the ball in his hands.
Cat.
Right. Brunson is a ball stopper. Randle 2.0. I don't know. I don't know what Greg, what do you want? What do you want? I wish Greg would call in. Never calls in. I don't understand. Brunson is a ball stopper. Brunson's ego is toxic. Toxic? Greg, I think you're the toxic one. I think Greg is toxic. For real. Brunson, 0 at the free. Now, I will admit, when Brunson goes to the free throw line, I get scared because in a clutch moment, he'll miss one. No doubt.
Feels like he's been missing 2 every game.
Yeah. Greg said Brunson was sad. Let's just talk about the Brooklyn Nets game.
Mm-hmm.
And Hawks own us. I mean, Greg, is there anything that you can say positive about this team? About the Knicks? The best season. We're in the midst of having the best record in more than a decade. We're in the midst of it. Can you give me something positive? I would love to hear Greg say something positive about this basketball team. Something positive. I never hear Greg say anything positive. Ever. Ever, ever. I don't know. Bad IQ this season.
Are we better than last year?
Yeah, Greg. Are we better than last year? Answer that. Are we better than last year, Greg? I would like to know. See, if he was on the phone, he could answer right away. Now we got to wait for him to type because he's scared to get on the phone. Scared to get on the phone. Why, Greg? Why? Answer that. Answer that. JJ said, Greg and Sean fighting for the most miserable fan. Last year, I thought Greg and Sean were the same person, and they still might be the same person. Still might be. Might be the same person under two names.
So remember we was talking about doing the MBK award show?
Yeah.
We had an award for you, Craig. Straight up.
Yeah, we need to bring that concept back. We need to bring that concept back. Yeah, I don't know. He said we're better because Cat's playing. Okay. Tracy said the New York Knicks are better than last year. We are. We're definitely better than last year. We're not as deep as last year, but we're better. Once we deepen up the team, get a better bench, we'll be way better than last year. But I mean, with 13 games above 500, we're gonna have a chance to go 14 games above 500 this weekend on Saturday. We're way better. Way better. I don't know. Greg, I'll do a show with Greg by just answering Greg's comments. You know what I mean? Call it the Greg Show. It's answers comments. Make it make sense, Greg. You heard make it make sense on the show. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. You can't. I don't know. What's up with Greg?
Yeah. Man, I'm glad we didn't lose this game.
Me too. Me too. Me too. I don't know. Any other thoughts though, Tony, before we get out of here? Just thoughts about anything right now. Shout out to Make It Make Sense. Says, just relax. Thank you for the super chat, brother. Appreciate you. Just relax. Exactly.
I mean,
just relax.
That's what it is. Like, I admit it. Even I overreact, after games. It takes me about a day to kind of clear my head, settle in, put things in perspective. But I always come to that same conclusion. We're a better team than we were last year. We're doing better. We're right around where I expected us to be. This team tends to play better as the season closes out. And, Tibbs tends to overachieve. Let's see if he could do it again. It's going to be harder to overachieve now because there's a lot more expectation.
Yeah. I guess my question, like you said, overachieving is still, does Tibbs overachieve with what's overachieving? What's overachieving with this team? What is overachieving?
Right now, a push against the Celtics.
Okay.
Eastern Conference Finals, 7 games.
Okay.
And I say that because, I do, because I don't, I think, what'd you say the other day? We're where the Celtics were 2 years ago. You know what I mean? And maybe not even there, because I think they've been together longer. The core, you know what I mean. So I really don't think we're gonna see our best team until like next year, and then the year after.
Right.
After,
Right.
so we can I do think that will be overachieving. Obviously beating them would be overachieving as well. Getting to the finals, and I don't mean that because I don't think we can or capable. I just think it's gonna take time for us to see the best version of ourselves. So if he could get us at the best version by year's end, that's an accomplishment. That's an
That is.
overachievement.
Yeah, that is.
You
No
know what I
doubt.
mean?
No doubt about that. That is. Um, mm, I mean, for me, like I kind of like came into the season expecting to go to the Eastern Conference Finals a little bit,
I
or,
did too.
or looking and saying like that's where we should be.
I did too, and
Wow.
that was before the trade as well.
Yeah, yeah. Even exactly, even before the trade, that was I expected the Knicks to go to the Eastern Conference Finals.
But the perspective of the trade for me, I felt like it is an addition. But what they say, sometimes you gotta take a step back to take 2 steps
Yeah,
forward. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like, so just that whole chemistry, camaraderie, like the identity that we spoke about, all that thing, we wasn't just making that up. You know what I mean? Like, these were legitimate questions and concerns and things that we got to overcome. It just it's a time thing.
right, right. Hmm. Yeah, yeah. I don't know. You know, it is a time thing, right? Because we got to build chemistry. We got to learn. Just still learn roles and all of that stuff. I have this thing that I do with my players every year when building a team, right? And we go forming, storming, norming, and performing, right? So you got forming, that's when the team forms. You got storming, when the team is storming, that's when they're trying to figure out roles, right? Who does what? This is the area where a lot of teams break down and break up, right? They never leave that storming phase. But once those roles become definitive, now they get into a norming stage. That's when things become normal, right?
Everybody knows their role now.
Right. Everybody falls into their roles and and then there's then the performing stage. You know what I mean? And then this is when you're performing and you start to perform at peak levels. So when what do you think this team is right now?
Right now, I mean, obviously the offense for the most part is carrying us. The talent is carrying us. Um Also the preparation from Tibbs is carrying us. Um I don't know. Can you rephrase the question? Reform the question?
So if you're in the stage
Oh, out of those stages,
storming, norming, and performing, right?
I think we definitely are past we're kind of past we might still be in figuring out the role stage, the second stage. We might still be in, like, at the tail end of that. And a lot of that also has to has to do with we don't know what's going on with Mitch. You know what I mean? We don't know if he's a staple or if he's a asset.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because again, he's got to form into his role as well, and that might shift other roles. So I guess we're still trying to find the roles. Like Brunson's role is solidified, Cat's role is solidified. I think Hart's role is solidified. He knows what he's got to do night in and night out. I think OG and Brunson kind of know, but they're in the fate that they haven't mastered it yet. You know what I mean? They haven't mastered their roles. It's like you get a good one from OG, not Bridges. You get a good one from Bridges, not OG. You get a stretch from OG, you get a stretch from Bridges, but they haven't done it consistently.
Yeah.
But then we talk about the bench we need help with, and we talk about the defense we need help with. What was you gonna say?
No, I was gonna say I think we're kind of still in the storming stage. I think we're still figuring out our roles.
That's the second one, right?
Yeah, that's the second one.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I think we're in that storming stage still. You know what I mean? Now there's no signs of this team breaking apart.
That's good.
You know.
Yeah, they got each other's back. They defend each other, you know, publicly.
You know, I don't know. I think we're in that storming stage. We're still figuring it out.
One thing that I really think is going to help us long term overall with this team is I don't see, like you said, there's no sign of us breaking it up. I don't see us clashing, internal clashing. You know what I mean? It feels like we have the right mesh of personalities.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't think there's going to be a divide where it affects the like if there's an issue, it feels like this team could talk it out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And I'm sure they've already done that.
Yeah,
you know, with
absolutely.
certain issues or whatever. I'm sure they've already done that. You know, yeah. You know, it's a team of high character guys. You know what I mean? Team of high character guys. Yeah. Look at Greg. Brunson is the next Villanova to be traded. Kolek is the true point guard we need. Pass first. Yeah, let's see how far we get with Tyler Kolek. George Jones says definitely storming. Yeah, we're in that storming stage. Yep. Yeah. Anyway, folks, it's been real. We appreciate you guys. We're gonna head up out of here.
Great show.
It's almost 2 a.m. and I'm starving.
2 in a row.
Hungry, bro. You know what I mean? But anyway, folks, appreciate your time. 2 in a row for the Knicks.
2 L's, 2.
I mean, and like I said, just look forward to something coming out, asking people to, you know, we need more participants. We want some more participants. We want some more talent doing shows. You know what I mean? Anyway, we out. Peace.
Losing is what got us here. None of us feel good about it. This is, where we are. You are what your record is. You are what has happened, recently. But things can change quickly. Once we losing is what got us here. None of us feel good about it. This is, where we are. You are what your record is. You are what has happened, recently. but things can change quickly. Once we